Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and this is a corner of the internet where we post a video on a Sudoku puzzle every day. Simon does one and I do one later, and they come out at 8:30 and 11 UK time. But yesterday I did not do a Sudoku puzzle, and today I'm doubling down on that and doing something that looks like a Sudoku and definitely isn't. I will read you the rules in a minute, and they are fascinating. But before that, let me tell you that in the links under the video, you could find your way to support Sven's Sudoku Pad, which is the brilliant software that we use pretty much every day. You could find the links to all of our apps. There is Line Sudoku, Domino Sudoku, Fog of War, and of course the two worms from James Sinclair and Marty Sears that are the most recent addition to the suite. Do try them all out. They're great fun. Now, apart from that, there's our Patreon site, where on the 1st of every month, we post a new Sudoku hunt, and then it's open as a competition till the 20th. The prize is normally the chance to get to solve a puzzle collaboratively with Simon. There's a new one coming up on the 1st of August, so we're looking forward to that. But there will be some solution videos to last month's fairly soon, probably by the end of the month. Now, that's on Patreon, and there was a connections video yesterday, crossword videos every month, all sorts going on there. Do check it out. But we're going to look at this puzzle by Arthem today. I did a puzzle by Arthem about a month ago, and it was excellent. And this one looks insane. I will say that, because I've read the rules once, and I'm terrified. So, it starts with normal Sudoku rules do not apply. Fill the grid with the digits 1 to 9, 9 times each. Well, that's normal enough. A digit might repeat in a row and or column, but then all its occurrences must be adjacent. There is a maximum of one block of adjacent occurrences for each digit in the whole grid. Goodness gracious. So a block there I'm taking to mean a kind of connected set. Doesn't have to be oblong, I would have thought, or rectangular. Anyway, the central region can't contain a digit twice. That's this one. So 1 to 9 in that region. The digit in a cell of this region indicates exactly how many odd digits are in the corresponding outer region. So this top left cell, imagine this was a 6. That would tell you that in this box, which is the equivalent box for this place in box 5, there are 6 odd digits. What a bizarre rule. So that 1 means there is 1 odd digit in box 2. Now there is a negative X constraint, so no 2 adjacent cells in the puzzle sum to 10. Those or those, fine. Cells separated by a green dot contain both an even and an odd digit. So this is not a dot that we've seen before. It's a parity dot. And then a line contains digits in order with a constant difference, such as 444, 567, or 951. Well, you couldn't normally have 444, but you certainly can in this puzzle. And 444 would have a recurring difference of 0. 567 would have an increasing difference of 1, and 951 a reducing difference of 4. It says lines contain digits in order. Okay. X sums. Clues at the edge of the grid show the sum of the first X digits, where X is the first seen digit. So if this was a 3, 11 is the sum of the first 3 digits there. We've seen X sums before. I've very rarely seen sequence lines, occasionally. I've never seen a parity, well, I've seen parity lines, never parity dots. Very occasionally we've seen the no 2 adjacent cells sum to 10 rule. But I've never seen digits that tell you how many odd digits there are in a certain box. And I've never seen a digit might repeat in a row and or column, but then all its occurrences must be adjacent. There is a maximum of 1 block of adjacent occurrences for each digit in the whole grid. Oh, I'm going to say this. Yesterday, in the non-Sudoku that I did, it really helped. Well, for people who use the conflict checker when they're solving, there was a bit of a giveaway because it kind of told you what regions were connected together. So you had to turn it off to get the best experience. I didn't know that before I solved the puzzle or indeed posted it. Today, I have no idea if the conflict checker is going to mess with this idea of putting, you know, whatever, 3 5s in a row, but I'd turn it off, would be my tip. I'm just trying to get these rules in my head. Sometimes understanding the rules is part of solving the puzzle. Even understanding what they mean is part of the puzzle. And this is a weird puzzle. It's called Another World. I mean, I guess it's going to take us into another world where Sudoku is a very different beast. I'm really looking forward to this, but I don't think it's going to be quick. I'm going to restart the puzzle. You can try it on the link under the video. You can check the video length to see how badly I struggled. Let's get cracking. So, we've got a given 1. Okay, and no, I mean, what on earth can we do? The X sum clues, well, you see, even the X sum clues are not really genuine like other X sum clues. In other puzzles where we've had X sum clues, you can rely on the fact that you're not going to repeat a digit. And you know that that's going to mean that 34 is always 6, 7, 8 or 9, 6 or 7 cells long, actually, 34. But here, you can have repeat digits. It could be blooming anything. Okay, what can we cling on to like a Titanic survivor desperately clinging to the wreckage? We can cling on to the fact that box 5 has no repeats, maybe. This is a set of the digits 1 to 9. Okay, and more than that, these are the digits that are going to tell us how many odd digits are in the boxes they're pointing to. So the 1 is telling us there's 1 odd digit in this box. Okay, I've got something. I think this is right. This is a parity dot, isn't it? So there's 1 odd and 1 even digit on that dot. But there's only 1 odd digit in the whole of this box. My goodness, everything else is even. That's what this 1 means. It means there's 1 odd digit in this box, and we know there's 1 odd digit on the green dot. Okay, less than two minutes for a real deduction. I mean, it's not like putting a number in the grid, is it? But it's something. Now, these are all even. I mean, they're all from 2, 4, 6, 8. This is so weird. This is so... Oh, hang on, this middle box. I do know exactly how many odd digits are in the middle box because it's the digits 1 to 9. It's not a secret that there are 5 odd digits in the Sudoku numbers. And therefore, this central digit, which is telling us how many odd digits are in box 5, must be a 5. One of these digits is going to be a 9. Okay, hang on, I know something about that. Because 9 is not going to be pointing at a box with a green dot. Because the green dot is going to indicate that one of the digits in the box is even. And the 9 is going to be pointing at a box with 9 odd cells. So these which point at these green dots and these which point at these green dots are not going to be 9. 9 is going to be in one of those 3 cells in the middle box. Is that a lot of use? Probably not. I just don't know where to go for anything in this. This is the intersection of a 16 X-wing and a 34 X-wing. In a regular in a regular X-sums puzzle, that would be impossible. You couldn't fill that cell. 16 could only have a 3 or a 4 at its start, and 34 could only have a 6 or a 7. In fact, they're miles apart. I bet you that's going to end up being a 5, but the repeats give so much license. I don't know. Okay, let's think about these X sum clues, 16 and 36 at the top. Oh, okay. Well, the 36 is not going to begin with a 2 or a 4. It's got to begin with an even digit. If you were only counting 2 cells, the second one would have to add up to 34. If you were counting 4 cells, these 3 would have to add up to 32. They can't do that even if you put, well, you couldn't put 9s, even if you put 8s there. So what about 6? Is 6 possible? 6 and a pair of 8s would be 22, 23, 28. Oh, well, hang on. Have I understood the rules right? I don't think you can put 8 in this cell. Okay. There's a sort of parity thing going on. If this was 6, I know the parity of this cell. Because if it's a 6, we're adding these 6 cells. Those 2 give an even total. We're still on an even total when we've added the even cells. We need to be on an even total at the end. If that's a 6, this is even. Now, what are the maximum even digits that we could put in with a 6? 6 plus 5 and 1 is 12. These would all have to be 8s to get us to 36. Now that seems to be not allowed. The rule says a digit might repeat in a column, but then all its occurrences must be adjacent. So you can't have 8s in those 3 positions. It breaks the rule. So that is not a 6. That is an 8. And that's much less helpful. I mean, it's a digit. We've put 2 digits in the grid in less than 6 minutes, and I'm quite happy with that. And I know that we're adding those 8 digits. But I've lost the kind of pressure to get high digits in that a 6 was creating because we were only adding 6 cells, and even adding 2 because it was only a 6, not an 8. And I've lost the parity play about this cell. I'm now, well, okay, let's think about the 3-digit. The 3-digit sequences. Something in my brain is suggesting that these have to be divisible by 3. Certainly the examples are, they add up to, the example lines 444, 567 and 951 add up to 12, 18 and 15. They are divisible by 3. I think they have to be, because I think the rule is saying that the middle digit in well, for a 3-cell sequence, oh my goodness, what the heck is the square? Okay, my mind has just exploded out of my skull. How can a square exist? It says in order. I had been interpreting lines contain digits in order with a kind of, I suppose this could be 4 of the same digit. And then they're in order, effectively. But if the digits were different, how could you account for the circularity of a square, for it looping back on itself? If you went 2, 4, 6, 8, you can't go back to 2. And the differences wouldn't be the same. I'm guessing that this square is all 4 digits. Anyway, let's go back to the point. All the other lines in the grid are 3 cells long. And I think they're all divisible by 3 as a total. And I think there's more to that. There's more. The middle digit is an average of the line, because it's either the center of a set of 3 or it's the same as the other 2. Oh, it's so hard to remember that they could all be the same digit, even in a straight line. What parity order can we have? We can have odd, 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 like 951. Odd, even, odd, like 567. Even, 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 like 444. You can have even, odd, even. 432. What you can't have, and do correct me if I'm wrong, I think the 2 cells at the end have to be the same parity. Yeah, they do. The central one is the average, and the 2 cells at the end have identical parity. This is a big old parity colouring puzzle. I didn't understand that from the beginning. Right, let's think about this 36 value again then. We've got evens down to here, so when we add down to there, we've got to an even total. Those two add up to 6, so we're still at an even total. So these must add to an even total, and those two are the same parity and add to an even total, and that one must be even. Oh, you think that does nothing? I'll tell you what it does. It takes 9 out of this cell, because now this can't be 9 odd digits. Now, it didn't do a lot else, but what about the total? 8, 9, 14. If these were both 8s, 22, 30, this would add up to 6. It could be 2, 2, 2. It's not allowed to be 1, 2, 3 because we'd have disjointed ones in the column. Okay, but these don't have to both be 8s. Actually, they could be any even digit. Okay, let's think about this. This can't be a 2 because that would be a 14. It can't be I was going to say it can't be an 8. But you could have a whole sequence of 1s. No, you can't, because box 5 has no repeats. These 3 digits add up to at least 9. Given that we've had a 1 and a 5 in box 5, they have to be 2, 3, 4 minimum. That's not only going to rule 8 out of this cell, it's going to rule 6 out. If it was an 8 plus 2, 3, 4 minimum, we'd be up to 17 minimum, and we haven't even added those cells. That's miles out of court. If it was a 6, we'd be adding these 3, and they're at least 2, 3, 4. So we're up to 15 with the cells we've got highlighted. These two have to add up to at least 4 because they both have to be minimal 2s, and that's too much. So this digit is not 2, it's not 6, and it's not 8, and it's even. Well done, it's a 4. I bet, well, first of all, that's adding these 4 cells. Those 3 have an even total clearly because they're all even, so the 4th one must be as well. Now, it's making it look a lot like it's going to be 4 4s. Have we got any chance of proving that? Okay, if these weren't 3 4s, we need 3 digits that add up to 12. Oh, if they're not 3 4s, we've got to use 2s. If we used 2 2s and an 8, there's no Sudoku. Oh, there's the 10 sum, the negative x rule. There's no adjacent cells summing to 10. Oh, I'll tell you what, this can't be 2 to 8, because if it was, the 8 would be next to a 2. Okay, that's interesting. So, can this be not 3 4s by having 1 2 in, and 2 digits that add up to 10? 4, 2... Well, it can't be 2 2 8 again for exactly the same... Oh, well, I've already said that, sorry. For some reason, that was different in my mind from 2 8 2. I think I'm losing my mind already. But can this be 2 4 6? And I fear that it can, although you mustn't have a 4 next to a 6. So you couldn't put 6 here next to a 4. You couldn't put it here because it would be next to a 4. You'd have to put it here, and the 4s would have to be together. So I think it could go 4 4 2 6 or 4 4 4 4. Those are the possibilities. This is always a 4. We've got that digit. This 4 or 6 would be talking about the number of odd digits in here, not even ones. Oh, the 10 rule is very interesting. This digit can't be a 2 or a 6 now, because it would make a 10 sum either there or there. So this is a 4 or an 8. I don't know what to do next. What is amazing, I know we're 14 minutes in and it's painfully slow, but there's always some progress to think about. It's such a strange puzzle. The 9 cage of 9 the 9 box of odd digits is either there, which I rather fancy as being it, or it's here. Because 9 in the central box has to be in one of those cells. I mean, that's interesting, but it's not strong. Oh, what about this 25 sum? I can't use that. I don't know. I mean, you just have no idea. With the possibility of these repeats, it's remarkably hard to do anything. The 42 or the 11? I mean, we can't even think about do you know what? The 45 secret is absolutely, well, almost absolutely useless. Normally we tell you about the secret number 45, the sum of every row, column and box in a Sudoku. In this puzzle, it might be the sum of no rows, no columns, and one box. This box adds up to 45. I'll tell you what's interesting about that. That tells you that there are 45 odd digits in the Sudoku. But you knew about that from the first rule of the puzzle, which was that we're using the digits 1 to 9, 9 times each. There'd be 5 1s, 5 3s, 5 5s, 5 7s, 5 9s. 5 times 9 is 45. So there's always 45 odd digits. So I've just gone all the way around the houses to prove that 1 plus 1 equals 2. Always a thrilling activity. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm just waffling. I need to find something in the puzzle to do, to understand. Okay. I was going to say, how can this be 9? These would all be odd. This would be an odd digit for the 11 thing. It would have to be a 3, and these two would add up to 8, and they'd both be odd as well, but that's fine. It was nearly impossible, but then it was all too possible, such that it's probably the right answer. Okay, I need to find something else in the puzzle to do. I'm sorry, it's very hard to know where to focus at all. Okay, what I worked out, if that's 888, then after the 1 5, this is 222. That's not breaking the rules. In fact, the rules possibly are careful to say not that any row or column can't have 2 different repeated digits, but that a digit might repeat in a row and or column, but then all its occurrences must be adjacent. It's silent on whether that could be 222 as well as 888 up here. Okay, if that's 8 4, this would, I think, count as one block of 4s. That's fine. 8 4. This couldn't be 6 then, or 8. It would be 4 or 2. Okay. This was divisible by 3. I thought about that and never used it. Oh, hang on. Right, I think I am confirmed that these 3-cell sequence lines are divisible by 3, because the middle one's always an average of the 3. So that multiplied by 3 gives the total. Yes. This is divisible by 3. Right. 8, 9, 14 so far. This adds up to a number divisible by 3. That is going to have some impact on these two. Can they be 888? That's the first question. Yes, these would be 222. Well, yeah, no, okay. The fact that I've worked it out as possible from the top end means it must be okay. So, okay, those 3 are divisible by 3. That pair is divisible by 3. The whole sum of these 8 is divisible by 3 because it's 36. Therefore, this trio is divisible by 3. These two cannot add up to 10, or we break that negative x rule. So 18 is not the sum of these. It can't be an odd number like 21 or 15. The sum of these 3 is either 24, 888, or 12. It's not 6. It can't be 12 because that's not available to be a 2. Okay, I have to work through that chain of reasoning once more. I think it's right. This group of cells is divisible by 3. So is this pair. So if we deduct 2 multiple of 3 sums from a total that is a multiple of 3 itself, we're left with another multiple of 3. So this trio is a multiple of 3. It obviously can't add up to an odd number. Gosh, heavy rain outside, didn't expect that. It can't add up to an odd number because it's 3 even cells. So 15 and 21 are ruled out. Now I think the numbers around those are 12, 18 and 24 that are potential sums for this trio and divisible by 3 and even. Therefore divisible by 6. So 12, 18 and 24. 12 is not possible because that's at least 8 and 4 and that's got to be something. 18 is not allowable because those two would add up to 10 and there's no x. So it is 24. That's an 8. That's an 8. I'll tell you what, this can't be a 2 because of the 10 rule. So that's 4 and that's 4. And we're getting sequences. We're going to get another one here. This can't be 1, 2, 3 or you'd have 2 1s not connected in the column. So that is 2, 2, 2. They're all even. We now know that there are 2 even cells in this box, but it's 2 odd cells. And that's not as helpful as I thought. We don't know anything about this. We don't know anything about those. We've got the 4. So that's saying there are 4 odd cells here. This is just fascinating. This puzzle is wrecking my head. I have a feeling that what I've done in 22 minutes could have been done by a smart person in 3. I mean, I'm still not certain about my conclusion about this. I'm not willing to take a chance on that yet. Right, let's have a think about... Well, these 11s, can that be a 2? Yes. If that was a 9. Can it be a 4? Could we add those 4 cells to get 11? We can't, I tell you what, we can't have a 4 in this cell because we'd have 2 4s in the row and they wouldn't be connected. There'd be an impenetrable... Oh, well, they have to be connected in the row, don't they? Let's just reread the rule one more time. A digit might repeat in a row and or column, but then all its occurrences must be adjacent. Yes, we can't have a 4 in this area. So, this can't be a 4. 1 is not enough. It can't be a 4. If we had a 5 there, we'd be adding an 8 into the mix. So that is 2 or 3. Huge whoops of joy. Not really. Oh, I'll tell you what, this can't be 8. I was going to say it can't be 9 because that can't be the average, but they could all be 9, so I could be just talking through my airy-fairy hat. Okay, I have no idea what I'm doing next, so I need to think things through. Eight. Oh, this can't be 9 because it's sitting next to 1 and there's no x's. That's a 9, right. Sorry, because we're not allowed to have 2 adjacent cells summing to 10. That was never 9. This is 9. These are all odd. That has to be even because of the green dot and the parity switch. This has to be even because of these 3 cell lines all having their ends be the same parity. That has to be odd because of the parity switch. This cannot be a 9 because we'd have a disjointed 9 in the row. It obviously can't be 1. It can't be 3 because you can't make them add up to 28. So it's 5 or 7. If it was 5, we'd be adding these cells, 5, 14, 16. These two would add up to 12. There'd be a pair of 6s or a 4-8 pair. If it's a 7, we've got 7, 16, 18, and then all of these to add to make 10. Oh, the digits we've got left, we are allowed to reduce our digit pool in the central box. We've got 3, 6, 7 and 8 left. Now, what was I saying? If that's a 7, 7, 9, 18, I suppose these could both be 2s. 22, that would have to be a 3, 25. And then this would be another 3. I mean, can't... Oh, these can't both be 2s because they would be disjointed from that. Aha, these have to be at least 4. Right, if this was a 7, we're up to a minimum 15, 24, 26, 29. It's not a 7, that is a 5. We're adding these, and those two have to add up to 12. And they're either a 4-8 pair or a 6-6 pair, and their average either way is a 6, which is the number that goes here. And not, no, that's not true. That doesn't rule it out of those cells. This puzzle's still doing my head in. It is from another world. It really is. Arthur, you are an evil genius, and that's fact. Right, that's odd. This has to be odd because it's the other end of a 3-cell line. There are only 2 odd cells in this box, so these two, which have to be the same, can't be odd. Did I say there are only 3 odd cells? I hope I said 2 because there are only 2. So those are even. We've got a lot of evens in this column. I mean, we're finding a lot of the blocks. I'll tell you what. There is something very interesting going on here. Oh, no, bother. So I was going to say we're only allowed blocks of 1 block. There is a maximum of 1 block of adjacent occurrences for each digit in the whole grid. And we've had the 4s and we've had the 8s and we've had the 2s. Now, I was going to say, because we need so many even digits in this column, it's got to be the 6s. But that is entirely bogus because we could join 8s onto the 8s here. We could join 2s onto the 2s here. What I'm talking about is rubbish, and that's disappointing. Disappointing, you know, I'm not angry at myself, I'm just disappointed. Now, what is this odd digit that we found? This is adding how many cells? It's not 9, obviously, because the total would be 34. It's not 1, because the total would never be 25. It's not 3, because you couldn't get to 25 even with the maxima here. So it's 5 or 7 again. And we're either adding those 5 or those 7. Now, if it was those 7, we've already got 17, plus the minima 3 and 5 is 25 already, and we still have to add 2 cells. So that's not 7. That is a 5. By the way, I've only just twigged that there is no block of adjacent 5s in this puzzle anywhere, because 5 can't be next to 5 because of the 10 rule. So this is not a 5, 5, 5 line, it is a sequence, and it's all odd. So it either goes up 5, 7, 9 or down 5, 3, 1. Now, also, we're adding these, I think this is easier, we're adding these to get 25. We've already got 14. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what that means for these cells. Oh, yes, hang on. I know something. We've got this 2 here. This is telling us that there's only 1 more odd digit in this whole box. Therefore, they're not both odd. I was thinking this could well be a 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 crew of digits. But it's not, because we know that these aren't both odd. Oh, let's have a look at this 34, because this digit is not a 5 now. 4 is not enough, because even at their maximum 999, we only get to 31, and we couldn't even have 99 on the green dot. 4 is not enough, it's not a 5. This digit is 6, 7, 8, or 9. I'm not ruling that out, although actually I am, because it also has to act as the x for the 16, and 9 is far too many. Well, even if you put 1s all the way up, you'd have 17. If that was an 8 for the 16 clue, I wonder if we'd have trouble. We'd need 7 digits, 6 of which would be 1s and 1 a 2 to make the addition work. And you'd have, because of this sort of barrier halfway up where you can't continue the same digit through the parity barrier, you can't have 7 1s. So that's not an 8. I wonder if I can even say it's not a 7. So if this was a 7, these would add up to 9. You could have 1s one side of this barrier, so maybe there. So you'd be up to 10. Then these would have to add up to 6 without having any 1s. They'd all be 2s. We can't have 2s. Could they all form, could the 9 2s form a single block with those? No, they can't stretch to meet each other. There's too many cells. So they can't be 2s. They can't all be 1s because of this x. Could it be 7, 2, 2, 2, 1, 1, 3? No, you can't have 1s on both sides of this green dot. That's so fascinating. I don't think 7 is going to ever work here. I think this has to be a 6. Let me just redo that. These have to add up to 9, which is an average of 1.5 each. The only way you can keep the number of 1s down to 3 of them, which is the max, is by having 3 2s, and we've just worked out that's not possible. It's not even possible for these to be 2s joined up to those 2s like that, because these would all have to be 1s. That is a 6. Wow, I mean, that was hard work. That was fun, but it was hard work. Now, we're adding these 6 digits. I know the parity of this if I work it out. I've got odd and even here. They add up to an odd total. Oh, I've just written orange there. Sorry, that's meant to be blue. Odd and even here is an odd total. Plus odd there, we're up to even. Plus even and even, we're still on even. This has to be even to get us to an even total. Now, we've got 11. We've got to get another 23 in these cells. Oh, we've got 3 evens to include. This digit cannot be an 8, or we'd have repeating 8s here. It can't be a 6, or we'd have repeated 6s in the row, which would be disjointed because of this sort of parity barrier. So this is 2 or 4. Now, things are getting interesting. 6, 11, we're up to 13 or 15. These cells add up to 21 or 19. And if this was 975, then we'd be making up this 19 or 21 total without using 9, 7 or 5. The highest odd digit you could have is a 3. We must have 1 odd digit on this. And the highest 2 even digits are double 8. And that gets us to exactly 19. So 6, 3, double 8, 4, 5 is the only way this could be 7, 9. Oh, that's wretched that there is a way. That is wretched. There must be something wrong with that. There is, and it's quite complicated. No, it's not. It's not. It just relies on me looking at this and going, this is not an 8, and it's not. Oh, does it? does it? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Right, this is not an 8, and that is straightforward. It's also not a 7, because it's counting the number of odd digits in this box, which is now maximally 6. So 7 and 8 in the central box, which remember is the only box, it's the life raft or the door frame we're clinging to, that it's got only one of each digit in. 7 and 8 are in those cells. Now, that doesn't rule out 7 and 8 from these cells, or does it? I think it rules out 8 from this cell. And the reason I make that claim is that to avoid having a disjointed 8 somewhere in those and there, these would all have to be connected up as 8s. In fact, those 4 cells would be 8s. That's not impossible in theory, but there's only one block of adjacent occurrences for each digit in the whole grid, and 7 of the 8s would be there, and they couldn't join up with another 2 cells. So this is not an 8, and therefore these can't max out at 8834, and therefore this cannot be 579. This must be 531. I'm very proud of that deduction. If you saw that coming, well done. Now we're not allowed 1 and 3. We've got, or 5 actually, because that would also be block repeated in the row. We've got, do you know what? I've just thought, I suspect there's 1 5 in each row, column, and not necessarily box, because 5s can't be joined together, and we've got to have 9 of them. Maybe, no, there might be 2 5s in a box. Wouldn't that be weird to see? I don't know, maybe it would be the least weird thing. Anyway, these add up to 21. We're not allowed to use 1, 3. We've got 3 even digits and an odd one. The odd one is 7 or 9. If we used another 6, it would have to be here joining to that one. If we used 2 2s, I don't know. I think it's getting overly complicated for my head now. Let's have a look at this group that adds to 25. If that was a 6, these 2 add up to 5, and we can't use another 4. They would be a 2 3 pair. If that's a 6, this is a 2 3 pair. If that's a 3, maybe that's a bit more likely. If that's a 3, 12, 17, these add up to 8, and they're the same parity as each other. And because of that 2, they'll be even. They can't be a pair of 4s, they'd have to be a 2 6 pair. I've forgotten all about the 12 not being next to each other. Sorry, the 10 rule. That can't be an 8 because it's sitting next to a 2. Forgotten all about that rule. Oh, look, if this was an 8, 8 of these cells would be odd, and that's not possible either. This is brilliant. This can't be an 8, row 5, column 6 here, because that cell would have to be even. Remember our rule about the 3-digit lines having to have the same parity at both ends. If that was 8, that would be even, and one of these 2 would be even, but the 8 would be claiming that 8 of the cells in this box were odd. Couldn't do it. So that's not an 8. This is the 8 in the central box. 8 of these cells are odd, and now I can't colour them because I don't know which ones. Bother. Right, if that's odd, both of those are odd. They can't both be even, because we're adding to this total of 11 and we're not allowed 2 even cells in the box. And I have just noticed neither of those can be 8. I'm not. Oh, the 8s, I was going to say, do they have to join up? No, not necessarily. No. Sorry. If that's odd, these are both odd. If that is even, it's a 2, and this has to be a 9. So this is always odd. Now we use the rule about the 2 ends being the same parity, and that's odd. And it doesn't really get us anywhere, but it was an interesting finding. I'm going out of my brain. Oh, I was about to say, look, I've got 6 there. This must be 3. That is not a rule, Mark. It is not a rule. It's not even a rule that there's no 5 in these cells, even though 5 is quite a well-behaved digit in this puzzle. It's just not a rule. It's not one of the rules. Normal Sudoku rules do not apply. Okay, this rule that does keep applying, that keeps surprising me, is the no repeated and disjointed digits. Which is why, okay, this can't be 8 in the column or 6 in the row because of that. So this is 2 or 4. Now, we're trying to get to 34 here. The maximum we've allowed ourselves at this point is 19. These have to add to a minimum of 15. So they're either, and it is an odd total, so they're either adding to 15 or 17. They're made up of 6, 7, 8, 9. This one can't be a 6. That doesn't mean this one can't be a 9. No. I mean, this digit can't be many things once we know what this is. If this is 6, 9, this has to be 1 or 7 because it's odd and it couldn't be 9, 5 or 3. If that is 7, 8, this is 1 or 9. That's not that interesting either. I'm going to have to do the x sums. Oh, look, I've got a 6 for this column. Oh, wake up. Right, these add up to 10. And there's a break here, a parity break, which means, well, what does it mean? It means you can only have a digit repeating on one side of that. That same digit can't appear on the other side of the parity break. I mean, it's a weird rule, but it is true. These 5 cells add to 10. That is an average of 2. For every time that we don't use a 2, no. Well, okay, 5 2s would theoretically be possible. The parity break stops it. So we must have a 1 in this group of cells. If we only had 1 1, we'd have 3 2s and a 3. The 3 2s would have to be these cells. This would be a 1 3 pair. And that digit would have to be a 3. It would join to that one. Have we had 3s joining anywhere in the puzzle? No. Oh, we can't. Okay, how could these be 3 2s joined together? Only if they link up with those. And that would require 3 cells of bridge somewhere. But there's another, I was going to say there's another 2 in this group. We don't know that. These could both be 4s. This puzzle's mad. It's mad and it's hurting my head. Oh my goodness. Have I got to the point where I'm meant to be adding up recurrences of a digit and saying it can't appear anymore? No, not yet. Okay, I'm trying to think of only 1 1 in this group. For that to be the case, these are all 2s. Oh, once these are both 2s, this whole square is clearly all 2s. And now have I surely not got too many 2s? Those are all 2s, 8, and they've got to be joined together as a block, and that would take 10. That's too many. Right. These are not 3 2s. Therefore, there are 2 1s in this group of cells, in this yellow group. Those 2 1s have to be joined together. If they were joined together on this side, I suspect we can get this whole box to be 1, this whole square to be 1s. If they were joined together on this side, those 2 would be 1s. These digits would be 2 2 4 or 2 3 3. They couldn't be 2 3 3 because that would stop this from having any possible existence as a disjointed repeat digit in the column. So they would have to be 2, 2, 4. None of them could be a 2 unless they were joined up to these 2's in a block. Also, if they were 2, 2, 4, I'm going to rely on my deduction that these 4 all have to be the same digit. There is no way that you can obey this rule as it's written. Lines contain digits in order with a constant difference, unless these 4 are all the same. Therefore, I'm going to rule out the double 1 there and the 2, 2, 4 on this side, because one of these would have to be a 2, then they'd all have to be 2's. Then you've got this same problem again. You've got 7 2's in the grid. Oh, maybe it's not quite the same problem. Now you join them up. And now you've got 9 2's in a block in the grid. You've got a 4 there and a pair of 1's, and that would be a 3, and it hasn't actually been completely falsified. I don't think it's right, but I don't know that it's wrong. Okay, I haven't used this X sum. Oh my goodness. Right, it's very similar to that one. Either it's a 2 and then a 9, or that's a 3, plus this is 9. This would have to be a 2. So this is either 2, 9 or 3, 2, 6. We know that it's not a 4 because we're going to bust the total very quickly in this row. That is 2 or 3. This is 2 or 9. This is either 3, 2 or 2, 9. I'll tell you what the interesting thing about that is. One of them is a 2, and that's even. And that's a 4th even in the box. And this can't be saying there's 6 odds in that box anymore. This is a 3. There we go. That takes 3 out of these cells. This is the Titanic door we're clinging to. And 6 can't be looking at a 6 there, so that's a 7. And that cell is odd as well, and this is a 6, and that's even. Right, that's something. This box has 6 odds in it. This one has 7 odds, and okay, let's get rid of the yellow again, or hatch it. The 7 odds don't include one of these cells, which is even. It's a lot of odd in the box. This I don't know. Does it? Oh, that is not a 3 because you'd have 2 3's in the row disjointed. So that's a 2, that's a 9. There we go. Right, those 2 are odd because of the rule about the ends of lines. That's even. We need 3 odds in the box, so 2 evens and an odd to go here. And look at this row, 2, 9, 6, 3, 5, 7. These digits can only repeat the 7 or come from 1, 4 or 8. And this one now, there's no way it's an 8 or a 7 because you can't make up the 16 sum then. So that is 1 or 4. Now, if that was a 4, 6, 10, this would be 1, 1, 1, and that would be 3. But if that's a 1, then none of these can be 1. And isn't that a problem? That is a problem. If that's a 1, I think we've worked out these can't all be 2's. Look, we've got another 2 in the grid there, so we can't possibly have a block of 9 2's down here. If that's a 1, there's no 1 in these cells. They would all have to be at least 2, and they can't be exactly 2's, and 3 2's would be the minimum, I think. 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, well, hang on. If that's a 1, 2 of these need to be 2's and 1 a 3, but that's going to break the rule. Right, that is a 4, incredibly. That can't be the minimum 1. Oh, I was going to rule 4 out of these cells. I don't know anything about that. This is odd. I'm sure it's all. In fact, we've now got 10. We only need 6 more. These three are the only ones that can repeat. I'm absolutely certain this is 3 1s and a 3, but I haven't quite understood why. Could we have a 2 still into this group of cells? If it wasn't 3 1s and a 3, it's 2 1s and 2 2s. And that would include a breakup, because whatever digit this was, its other partner in the same digit would be down here, and that's illegal. So it is 3 1s and a 3, and the 3 1s go here. Goodness me, this puzzle is mad. And that is a 4, and that is a 3. Can't even remember the colour. And those are all 1s. And this is the only block of 1s we're allowed, so that digit's not a 1. Couldn't possibly join to this block. Okay. This, annoyingly, could still be a 3 joined to that, or a 2. This is all 1s. Once we've got 2 1s on it, we know that. Now, how many 1s have we used in the puzzle? 5, 6, 7. There's only 2 to go. Ooh, things I expect to be able to think about, I just still can't. It's weird. Like, why can't I do this at all? I've made no progress on it. Oh, this is odd. So it's 1 or 7. This is odd. It can't be 9 or 5. I feel like it can't be 1. Because then I'd have to join it to this 1. And these would then be 7 1s with the 8th there and the 9th there. We wouldn't be allowed any more anywhere. I don't know. We are allowed 9, so maybe I can't rule out that being 1. So I'm going to put 1, 3 or 7. 3, I mean 3 seems unlikely because we've got a 3 in the box, but there is no rule about any box other than box 5. And we kind of finished that. Oh look, oh no, I was going to say these are all even. They're not. That is counting the odds up here. Oh, it's so hard to remember this. 2 is counting the odds down here. Oh, these two are the same parity for this total, aren't they? 5, 8, 17. These add up to 8. They're the same parity, and we can't have 2 odds, so they're both even, and that's the second odd in the box. Well, that's quite interesting. These aren't allowed to be 4, and they add up to 8. So they're a 2 and a 6. That's pretty strange. That's 1 of each. Whereas I've written 2 and 4 here, but they could be the same as each other. It's very hard to get used to the rule, I'll say that. This digit is not allowed to be an 8 because it would double up in the column disjointedly. So that's 2, 4 or 6. This isn't allowed to be 7. I suspect it's not 1, but I don't know that. It could be 5. I'm still wondering whether we're going to get 2 5s in a box in this puzzle. It's quite amusing to me that it might happen. Now, if that was a 7, this would also have to be a 7. That would also make this a 7 on this line. One is for disjointing reasons, and the other is for averaging reasons on the line. What are we 52 minutes in? I mean, I'm still quite proud of this solve at this point. I don't think I've messed it up. Yet. Yet, I say. Oh, these two can't be 6s because they'd be disjointed from that. So they're a 4, 8 pair. Well, that's interesting. This can't be even because it would be disjointed either from 4, 8 or 2, 6. So that is odd. This is counting 7 odds in the box, and we found 5 of them. This can't be a 4 because it would be disjointed from that. I can't rule out 1. I feel like I ought to be able to. Well, if this was a 1, that would have to be a 1. It couldn't be a 7, or the 7s would be disjointed. So you'd now have 7 you'd have all 9 ones, but you'd have 2 blocks that weren't joined up, so that can't be a 1. That is 7 or 8. If it was 8, this line doesn't make sense, so it's 7. And that's 7, and this is odd. It's so strange to just write 2 7s there. This digit is not allowed to be even, or 5 or 9. It's 1, 3 or 7. It's such a weird puzzle. It's so freakish. If that was a 1, do we have a problem with the number of 1s again? We've got 6 of them, 7, 8. That would have to be the 9th, I think, to join up the ones in column 8. So if that's a 1, that's a 1. We've done the 28 sum, we've done the 11 sum there. We haven't done this one, obviously. We haven't considered this 42 or this 31 really for at all, for a long time. I don't know. What is this digit? Because it's not 4 or 8 because there's a parity break there. I don't think it's 2 or 5. If it was 2, they'd all have to be 2s, and we'd have 2 different blocks of 2. So it's not 2, it's not 5 either. So this isn't 2, 4, 5 or 8. It's not 1 or 3 given the total we have to achieve. So it is 6, 7 or 9. I rather fancy it's going to be 6, but what about the divisible by 3 bit? So if that was a 6, and these are divisible, 6, 11, 13, this group would add up to 18, which is very divisible by 3. In fact, that would put 6 in the middle. And therefore that would have to be joined up to the 6 by another 6 here. So they'd all be 6s. And this would be the only joining of 6s that would be allowed in the puzzle. That would really help. So can I rule out this being 7 or 9? If it was 7 or 9, that would have to be the other of 7 or 9. So if it was 7, 9, 14, we'd be adding those and that. Those would be divisible by 3. They could be 15 or 12. Oh, but that would leave 2 or 5 here. This can't be 2 disjointed or 5x. But maybe, and it can't be 8. This cannot be 7 because of this being divisible by 3. That is so weird. And this not being able to be 2 or 8 because it's odd, or 5 because of the lack of an x. 7, 12, 14. Now I've got my maths wrong. No, I haven't. If that was divisible by 3, this would be 2, 5 or 8, and it can't be. That is not 7. Right, if this is 9, now what's happening then? We're adding the whole column. Let's go with the minimum here. It can't be 111, it would be a separate block. It can't be 1, 2, 3, the 2 would get split out. It can't be 222, we've got a separate block of 2s. If that was a 9, this has got a minimum 3 in the middle and adds up to a minimum of 9. Let's say that. 9 there is 18, 20, 25, and that minimum takes us up to 32 and breaks it. That is a 6 in the corner, and that is an important digit for us because we now know we're adding those 6, and we've got the sum of 13 of them. These have to add up to 18. The average is 6, which goes in the middle. That has to join to this 6 with a 6. That has to be a 6 to make the line work. And we found, and I'm colouring them in the wrong blooming colour. Please forgive that. Please. I don't know why that suddenly happens to me. That is still orange. That's correct. Okay. These are all 6s. We've found the 6 block. We've actually got 7 sixes, and there's one in one of these two, we found out. That's 8 of the sixes in the puzzle. We're nearly done on sixes. Oh, this can't be a 6 because the 6 block is up here. We can't have another 6 block. That can't be a 6 either because that would create another 6 block. Once this can't be a 6, this pair, which we know adds up to 15 or 17. Oh, bother. Well, we know they've got a 7 in. No, we don't. We know they've got a 9 in. So this cell can only be a 7. It's odd. It can't be 3 or 5. There was a reason it couldn't be 1, because we'd have separate blocks of 1s. That was it. So there's a 9 there. No, hang on. This either adds up to 15 or 17. It's either 8, 7 or 8, 9. Oh, it's got an 8 in, and I don't care, because that doesn't affect this cell. Oh, bother. But it's going to decide these. I mean, have I got too many 2s yet? No, nowhere near. Okay, these add up to 12 because of this average thing. They can't use a 9 unless these are all 9s. Well, they could be. They could even be a pair of 6s. It's so hard to grip anything here. Oh, wow. I mean, what the heck now? Okay, how even? Count. 3. We've got 1 odd and 1 even to go here. 7. We've got 1 odd and 1 even to go here. Oh, okay. What's the even digit going to be? It could be a 2 anywhere. But the other one, yeah, in one case we could have a 2. But in the other case we're going to have a joiner. Either 6 joining to 6, 4 joining to 4, 6 joining to 6. No, don't know. They can't both be even because of this count. One is odd and one is even. That's quite interesting. So the 6s aren't all going to join up with that one anyway. One odd and one even here as well. We can't have a 1. I don't know what it means. Can it? It can't be a 4 or a 6 as the even digit. So the even digit here is either an 8 there or a 2 in either position. And the even digit here, I suppose it could be a 2. I want more clues. What is this now? Just over an hour. It's not far over an hour. Okay, I was going to be appalled. I'm not actually appalled. I'm not. There's something very obvious I'm probably missing. This even digit can't be a 6. But if they were both the same, it could be the other one from 2 or 4. Now it can't be a 4 for the row, so this is 2 or 8. If it was 2, these would both have to be 4s, and that is illegal. Oh, these can't be the same because they're split in the column. So that is a 2 and a 4. And now this can't be 2 or 4 and must be 8. I mean, that's so intriguing. The even digit up here also can't be 6, 2 or 4 and must be an 8. One of those two is an 8. How many 8s have we got then? 5. 1 there is 6. 1 here is 7. 1 down here. That's 8. There's only one more 8 to go anywhere. Oh, this 42 clue Right, I'd forgotten that. Yes, you're right. 16, 20 and 6 is 26. These two add up to 16. And one of them is odd. They are a 9-7 pair and both are odd. And they are two of the 4 odd digits in this box. And that 42 clue is done. This is now not going to be allowed to be 2, 9, because the 9 would be a clash with the 9 over here. So that is a 3 and is odd. We've found the 3 grouping. That's interesting. This pair of cells adds up to 8 and they're both odd. They could be 3, 5. They can't be 1, 7 because we've used a 7 over this side. So they are 3, 5 in that specific order. This now can't be a 3 because it would be disjoint from that. We really are getting to the point where we're counting all the digits used, but I mean, it's a bit tricky to do. Oh, this is a sequence. So this is 2 or 5 to fill the gap between 3 and 1 or 7. This is a sequence as well. This is 8 or 9. It can't be 8 in the row, so that is a 9. And this is a 9, and that's a 7. And that one is orange now. So we've got our 3 9s, and we've found the 9 grouping now. That is beginning here. These two, they add to 12, but they could still be 9 3, 6 6, 5 7. They couldn't be 4 8 because of that digit, but they could be 5 7 or 9 3 or 6 6. That's so annoying. This one we know is even from the count of the box. And it's not allowed to be 8 or 6. It's 2 or 4. How many 2s have we had? There's a 2 there, that's 1. 3 there is 4. There's 1 here, that's 5. That's clearly a 2. I mean, we're nowhere near the total of 2s. Botheration. If that's a 2, we're not allowed a 2 over here, and the even digit would have to be an 8 there. And that would be a 5, that would make this a 7. If it's a 4 though, then we are allowed a 2 over here. Now that's a 2 4 pair. We've got an 8. I don't know, I've used this clue now. I've used that clue. 3 3 5. Have I done all the X sum clues? No. Oh, that's distressing. I've virtually done them. I mean, this one is still a bit outstanding. But everything else is kind of done. So please don't tell me I'm having to think about placement of digits. Well, let's think about 5s. I mean, might as well. I've been kind of fighting shy of thinking about 5s, but there comes a time. Oh, look. There's got to be a 5 in this column. Because there's a 5 in every column and there's never 2 in any one column. So the 5's up here somewhere, and there are 2 5s in the books. There's got to be a 5 in this column. If it was up here, that's really freaky weird, but it would be diagonally opposed to the other 5, and that would be possible. Oh, that's really annoying. But it was worth thinking about. I haven't thought about the 5s. There's got to be a 5 in this column. It might be there, but it might also be up with the 8. You just can't even think about the normal box rule. That can't be 5. Oh, what other digits can't this be? Maybe, it can't be 1 or 9 or 3 given its position there. It can't be 5 because of the X rule. It can't be 4 or 6. This is 2, 7 or 8. And that's not helpful enough. That is so frustrating. I mean, it is interesting how many 5s there are. We've also got still a bit of a dearth of 9s, actually. That's a 2 6 pair. That's a 4 8 pair. There's some digit that we're absolutely glutted with and full of, and I haven't worked it out. Is it ones? 1, 2, we've got 7. It's not ones. There's an 8 in one of these two cells. Why can't... Oh, the 10 rule. 6 can't go next to 4, so that's a 2. That's a 4. Now, we've got 15. If that's a 2, these are a 9-8 pair. If it's a 4, they're a 7-8 pair. That didn't do anything there. But the 10 rule stops that being a 2. It stops that being a 4. Yeah, okay. It's always the 10 rule, isn't it? Now, once that's a 2, this can't be a 2. That's a 5 on this line sequence. That's a 7. For the count of odd cells in the box, that's now even and is an 8. The 10 rule, it's so hard to remember it. 7 not being next to 3, I've barely thought about that once in the whole puzzle. But it's interesting, and I don't mind forgetting that because there's so much to remember and it's so mad. Still don't know whether that's 1 or 7. Right, but we got a few digits. This can't be 4 on the 10 rule. That's been available for a long time. I know. 2, 6, 8. Now there are 4 odds in this box. 8 odds in this one. 6 odds in this. 4 there, 1 here, and 1 here. Four, 5, 6, 7. I want to say this can't be 1 or 7. I don't dare say it can't be 1. I think I could be wrong. Okay, these two add up to 12. Are they 9 and 3? 9 there and 3 there. Oh, that's 1 of each. And we've got a 4 count of odd cells, so that's 1 of each as well. These two are the same parity, and these two are the same other parity. If these were both even, they'd both have to be 4s. Ah, that seems possible. Annoying and possible. We don't have that many even cells to put in the grid. One of these coloured pairs is double even. There's 1 even cell to go in this box. 1 there and an 8 here. Well, I must be able to count up. I'm so sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 8s. 7. 1 there, that's 8 8s. And 1 here, that's all 9 8s. They're all done. Why have I not tried this before? How about the 2s? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 1 there is 6. Oh, still got 3 2s left to do. This is uncertain. How about 4s? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ah. None of these can be a 4 because that'll break the rule. These can't be 4s because that would break the rule here. Whoa, hang on. Can I do 4s? If none of these can be 4s, how many have I got? 4, 5, 6. I need 3 more. Oh no, 7. So I need 2 more. It could be a pair here, very specifically here. Or it could be that one and one of these. Oh, that hurts. That's annoying. This disjoint rule is so bizarre. It's so bizarre and annoying. None of those can be 7s. None of these can be 9s. But then what? How many 3s? Man, I've only got 4 in the grid so far. Oh, this, I can write this digit in. It is a 3. It's a sequence line. I've just left it out of account entirely. It's not going to, well, it's going to stop me putting any 3s here. It's interesting. Doesn't butter my parsnips. Okay, 7s. 1, 5 so far. That might be 1. That might be 1. There might be 1 there. That's really annoying. How am I meant to finish this? This is so hard to finish. This can't be a 7 in this column because of that and a gap between them. If that's a 7, these are all 7s. And that's impossible because this is saying there's 6 odd digits, so that's not 7. So this is an 8-9 pair, and that can't be 9 anymore. It must be 7. Aha! Good Lord. Okay, well that's something. Couldn't have a 7 there. 2s. 1, 2, 3, 4. What did I work out earlier? No more 8s after this one. And that one. Oh. If those are even, they're 4s. If they're odd, they're not 3s. That's all I know. Actually, if they're odd, they can't be 9s because they would be even and those 9s would be separate from those, not in the same block. So if they're, oh, they don't have to be the same digit. Oh. Oh, this can't be an 8 in this column because of that 8. It's so hard to keep track of this stuff. Even, odd, right. I mean, 9s, are we working on 9s? We've got 5 of them done. That just doesn't feel like enough. I could have 1 here. I don't know. I'm not going to think about 9s in that way. This is going to be a monstrous finish still, isn't it? I still need all my 5s. I don't know. It's so hard to rule them out of places. Is that a 2 or a 4? I don't know. That is a 2-6 pair. Oh, I can add up this bloomin' stuff. 23, 27, 32, that's a 2, so I do know. So now my 2s, 4, 5, 6 of them, 7, 1 here is an 8th. There's 1, 2 to go somewhere. It might well be here. The 10 rule. I've forgotten the 10 rule all over again. The 10 rule might be very helpful somewhere now. I've just not been looking at. It might be. It might be. Come on, 10 rule. This digit. I already know it can't be 2, 6, 8 or 3. So the 10 rule's doing nothing for that. This one can't be 9 or 1 or 7 by the 10 rule. It can't be 2 by the disjoint rule or 8 or 5. What have I said? 9, 1, 7, 2, 8 or 5. By those tokens, it's 3, 4 or 6. And this is the opposite parity sitting here. Now that can't be a 3 or we'd have a separate three groupings. So that is 4 or 6. That's quite interesting. Oh, well, this can't be, that is even, obviously. So this is the 6th odd cell. This isn't allowed to be 5 or 9 now. So it's 1, 3 or 7. 10 rule stops it being a 3. So yet again, it's 1 or 7. How about more of the 10 rule somewhere? The 10 rule is so hard to get used to. I really, really think so. That's why this can't be a 4-8 pair. No, that's why this can't be a 4-8 pair. That's doing nothing there then. The odd digit here can't be 7 or 3. It's 1, 5 or 9. Okay, how are we doing on ones? We've got 5, 6, 7. And on sevens, we've got 5, 6 of them. That's 13, plus these two cells is 15 in ones and sevens. We still need another 3 in the puzzle. That's an annoyingly large number. Okay, where can ones go? They can't go here or here because of the disjoint rule. Yeah, okay, this is interesting. We've got, what, 7 ones already marked. Ones can't go here. They can't go in these cells because of the ones rule. They can't go in those cells because of the ones rule. Because of the disjoint sets rule is what I'm trying to say. So our 2 remaining ones are in these 6 cells. If one of them was here, wouldn't both of them be here? I don't know. Oh, these would both have to be 6s. If these were even, these are both 6s. Is that too many 6s? Yes. That would be 9 with 1 to come there. These can't both be 6s. So they're not even. They're not allowed to have a 4. So they're definitely odd. And these are definitely even for the count and everything. Okay. These are odd. And they're either 5, 7 or 3, 9. And it's annoying that there's still some. These can't include 2, 6 or 8. But they're both even. Aha. They're both 4s. How many 4s? How many 4s? 6, 7, 8. One more 4 to go. It is not allowed in those cells by the disjoint rule in rows 1 and 2. That is the last 4 in the grid. Okay. Surprise, but we've done that. I just want some help now. These can't be ones by the disjoint rule. What I'm calling the disjoint rule is they can't be 7s either. So they're from 3, 5, 9. That's not that exciting, but we found, okay, even digits again. Come on, we found all the 4s. They're done. Didn't we find all the 8s? Oh, hang on. I found 10 4s. Right, let's wind back to that one. It's not a 4 because I miscounted the 4s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They're all done. That's a 6. My apologies. Yes, it does stop that being a 6 on the disjoint rule. That's good. So they're done. So now we definitely count all the evens. We've got 8 2s. We need 1 more. That is going to be up here somewhere. There's going to be 1 2 in this whole area. We should therefore have 9 4s. We have 9 6s. We have 9 8s. We have once we count the 1 here and 1 2 there. So that's all the even digits. We've got a 1 2 to put up here. Everything else is odd. Okay, well that's something. That's something. That is some sort of progress. 7s, we've got 6 of them definitely done. 1s, we've got 7 done. 3s, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This digit can't be a 3 because it would form another set, and it can't be a 1 and it can't be a 7. That is 5 or 9. These can't be 9s because of that group, or 1s because of that group. So they're from 3, 5, or 7. These I don't know. They can't be 1s. So in fact, we've now ruled 1s. We've got 2 more to put. If this was a 1, you couldn't put 1 in those cells, so that would have to be the 1. So if that's a 1, that's a 1. If, on the other hand, that's not a 1, I don't know. We've got 1 up there. 5s? 5s are the bane of my life. There's got to be a 5 in column 3 in one of those cells. There's got to be one somewhere in column 2, but there are choices. There's 1 in column 9. There's got to be 1 in column 6. That's an interesting point. So that's an 8-5 pair. I mean, it's semi-interesting anyway. Now, am I still missing an implication of the tens rule somewhere? I suppose that can't be a 3. That's about, well, I knew it couldn't be 3, or a 1. So that is 5, 7, or 9. It's only a 5 if that's a 5. No, it can't be a 5. We can't have 2 in the same column. So that is 7 or 9. That's narrowing it down a tiny bit. It's all these odds, these wretched odds. I mean, 1 is the most helpful, and it's not being very helpful. Okay, up here, we can't use 1, 5, or 7. How many 9s do we still have to put in? We've only got 5 of them done. There might be another one there. I can only have a maximum of 2 in this box, otherwise they're going to form a new grouping. So we've got 5 done. Maximum of 2 here is 7. I suppose 1 there. We only need 1 here. It can't be in those cells. 1 9 or maybe 2 9s up there. That's maddening. Right, 3s. We've got 6 positively identified. If this is a 5-7 pair, which is one possibility for this line, then those are both 3s. And they're forming a new group that doesn't join to... Oh, they're forming a new group. That's impossible. So that is not a 5-7 pair. Because 5, 7 and 9 would be ruled out of these cells, which also can't be 1s. They'd both have to be 3s. That would form a new pair. Right. This is not a 5-7 pair. It is a 3 and a 9. And now these can't have a 3 in. I don't know whether there are 2 5. No, there's only 1 5 allowed, and there is exactly 1 5 allowed. So that is a 5-7 pair. The 7s can't form another group. This can't be 7. We've had a group of 7s. That's a 9. This now can't be 9 because it would be a repeat. That's a 5. That makes this a 5. That makes this a 7. Look at these 5s go. We've got 7 of them. 1 there and 1 there to come. Okay. Now, this is not allowed to be a 7 now in the column, or a 1 in the row, or a 5. It's 3 or 9, but we can't form another group of 9s, so that's 3. This one is now not allowed to be 1 or 3 in the row, or 7 in the column. We're not allowed another 5 for the x, so it's a 9. 1, 3, 7, 5. Yes, that's a 9. Right. Now we've definitely positively had 8 9s. We've got 1 to go. We've had 4, 7 7s. We've got 2 to go, but we've got these cells available. We know about the 5s. 3s are getting quite busy. We've had 8. We're allowed 1 more, and it can't be in those cells because of this 3. So there's 1 3 in that group of cells. Oh, what does that mean? What does that mean? 1s. Now they haven't really advanced at all. We've had the 7 for a long time, and we've got these available. So up here, how many were we doing on the 7s? Same thing, 7 in the grid, and these 2 available. So up here we have 2 digits from 1 and 7. The 7s can't go in these columns. The 1s can't go in these columns. Oh, this is just madness. Madness, madness, madness all the way. I can't rule any of those out from being 3s. If one of these is a 1, and I mean they could both be, it's awful to think we've still got the rule about both applying. I've got no more X-sum clues to use. I've got no more line clues to use. I've got no more green dot clues to use. I've just got to do maths. I've just got to add up the possibilities and work out how they can fit together up here. So there's a 5 in one of those cells. There's a 3 in one of those. Is there a 1? Well, it all depends on these. Why can't I be told which these are? None of these can be a 1. We need 2 1s. One of them at least is in this column, but they could both be here. I don't see why they can't both be 1s. Is there a rule? It's only the negative X rule still hanging around trying to be annoying. What was the even digit we've got left? It's a 2, isn't it? Yeah, there's a 2 somewhere up here. I mean, I've got no idea where the 2 goes. Somewhere. We've got a 1 and a 7, or 2 1s or 2 7s. We've got 2 of those digits. And the remaining one is an odd digit. Is it a 9? Yes, it is. 1 9 to go. Well, the 9 can't go in those cells because of that. And it can't go there because of that. So the 9 is in one of those 2. I haven't worked that out. Therefore, we knew we couldn't have a 1 in those cells from these. I'm thinking about the 10 rule there. That hasn't really done anything, annoyingly. This is so hard to finish off. Oh, so much work, and I might still get completely stuck with 10 cells to go. What am I missing here? I'm missing something. It's not 2 going with 8 unless that's across the border. So these markings I've done, 2 somewhere, 9 in one of those, 5 in one of those, 3 in one of those. Also 1 and 7, or some combination of them. If it's 1s, they could both be here. If it's 7s, they can't both be here because one would be touching a 3. Right, so all of these cells cannot be 7. So if we're having a 7 up here, it's in the corner. That would force the 9 and the 5. That would be 7, 9, 5. We couldn't have another 7, so we've got to have a 1 now. The 1 can't touch the 9, so the 1 would have to be here. 7, 9, 5, 1. Oh, and then we'd have 3 and 2. Look at what would happen. 7 would be here if we had a 7 up here. That would force this to be 9. I'm looking at the central digit now. That would be 5. The 1 would have to be, we couldn't have another 7. It would have to be a 1 in the box. This would be where the 3 went, and this would be where the 2 went. Oh, but I was thinking the 2 would then end up next to the 8, but it wouldn't. It would be next to the 5, and that would be fine. And this would have to be a 7, and this would have to be a 1. And that would work. And that's really annoying. Because the alternative is not to have any 7s up here. And then the 7s are down here. And then we have to have 2 1s up here. And these would both have to be 1s. So in either case, this digit is a 1. In it goes. Now, if that's a 1, this can't be 9. So that puts, if that's a 1, this is the alternative to that being a 7. We have a 1 in the box. That's a 1. We don't have a 7 in the box anymore. We have a 9 here. That forces 5 here again. And this is always, therefore, a 5 in either alternative. So that is now a 5. And that is now an 8. And it must be... Okay. And the 1 forces a 9 there. And that 1 makes this a 7. But we've had 2 1s up here. Oh, we need a 7 up here and we can't have 1. Because the 1 there would force the 9 not to be next to it. It would force it over here. There'd be nowhere for a 7. But, for, oh, hang on. If that's a 1, both of those are 7s. This might still be all right, sorry. That would be 9. And this would be 2 and 3. 2 above 3. Well, hang on. Yeah, okay. That is this. I think this is always 3. Therefore, this is just getting stranger and stranger. But it's still true. It's still true. Now, how? Yeah. Well, I mean, we must have had the right number of 3s. Now we must have done it. 4. Yeah, that's all 9. So. Up here, let's take out the candidates, the corner marks. We've either got 7 and then not a 1, 2, 9, 7. Does that break any rules? Or we've got 1, 2, 9. Oh, that 1 has made this into a 7, definitely. Oh, come on, baby. 5, 6, that's 8 of the 7s. The other one is either here or here. Is there a reason I should know that this is not a 1 or a 7? It feels to me like there are currently 2 solutions. 1, 9, 2, 7. 1, 9. Is there nothing? There's nothing wrong with that. 9, 2 seems all right. So 1, 2, 9, and 7. That seems okay. But if this is a 1 down here, why can't this be 2, 9, 7. What am I missing here? What am I missing here? That feels the wronger one. I don't know why. 2, 9. Just trying to scan all around the grid, see what I'm missing. 2, 9, 7 there and a 1 here. Or a 7 here. And 1, 2, 9 up here. How is this meant to be disambiguated? Somebody please tell me. I cannot see it. Oh, no, we've done all of these clues. That was 28. I did these ages ago. I'm not missing any of them. They're all the right sums. They're all the right sums. There's no problem with any of those. Okay, that is, sorry, it's those 6. That is not the issue. Those 2, yeah, That is not the issue. The green dots are all fulfilled. It's the 10, the sequence lines are all done. It's no, is it no two adjacent cells summing to 10? Oh, the 1. We can't have another sequence of 1s. Oh, you dummy, dummy, dummy. At least we do it. We can't have another sequence of 1s, so that's a 2. That's a 9. That's a 7. Wow, what a puzzle. And this is the 9th, oh, the 9th one, isn't it? 5, 8, yes it is. Bingo. 99:11. That's the timer. 5 people have done it in 7 days. Well done to those 5. That took me to another world. I forgot that rule. There's plenty of new rules there, but that one about there's a maximum of 1 block of adjacent occurrences for each digit in the whole grid. Ow. Well done, Arthur. That really has taxed and troubled me and been great fun. Thank you. Thank you guys for watching. Sometimes it's more of a struggle than other times, but I hope you enjoyed that puzzle. I'm going to definitely do a Sudoku puzzle tomorrow where normal Sudoku rules apply. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.